Well, Dr. Anthony Fauci got into a heated argument with Senator Rand Paul just this week over the origins of the coronavirus. Take a look.
You are entirely and completely incorrect that the NIH has not ever and does not now fund gain-of-function research in the Wuhan Institute.
But here's the most important thing from that takeaway. Fauci lied to Congress. He says that the US government has never funded gain-of-function research, including at the Wuhan lab. But here's the thing, it absolutely has. Everything he said there is provably untrue. I'll show you the clear and unflinching truth. I'm Ben Swan. This is Truth in Media. Hey guys, welcome to the show. A lot to get to today. I'm going to show you exactly how Dr. Anthony Fauci lied to Congress this week when he claimed that the US government, specifically the NIH and the NIAID, never funded gain-of-function research at the Wuhan lab of virology. We absolutely did, to the tune of $40 million. And again, I'm going to show you all the documents to absolutely prove that is true in just a minute. But before we get into that, a shout out to our sponsor for this episode, cloudcoin.com, and its upcoming webinar at cloudcoin.com. Thursday, May 20th from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern, join Sean Worthington of Cloudcoin. He's going to hold a webinar to explain important issues surrounding cryptocurrency. In fact, I'm going to be joining Sean to discuss the altcoin craze and what is causing so many smaller coins like Dogecoin or SafeMoon to rise so quickly right now. Also, he's going to be speaking about NFTs, these non-fungible tokens that are currently selling for millions of dollars. You can sign up for Sean's webinar today. There will be a link in the description at the bottom of this video, or you can sign up right now at cloudcoin.com. Make sure you sign up today. All right, let's get back to this story of Dr. Anthony Fauci. Earlier this week, he had a very tense exchange with Senator Rand Paul over the origins of the coronavirus, specifically this issue of gain-of-function research. And what was shocking about that exchange is that Fauci reiterated over and over with absolute certainty that the US government, specifically NIH and NIAID, have never, he says absolutely never, funded gain-of-function research. Watch some of this.
Dr. Fauci, do you still support funding of the NIH funding of the lab in Wuhan?
Senator Paul, with all due respect, you are entirely and completely incorrect that the NIH has not ever and does not now fund gain-of-function research in the Wuhan Institute
Do they fund
of Virology.
Dr. Barrick?
We do not fund.
Do you fund Dr. Barrick's gain-of-function research?
Dr. Barrett does not doing gain-of-function research, and if it is, it's according to the guidelines, and it is being conducted in North Carolina, not
You don't think inserting
China.
a bat virus spike protein that he got from the Wuhan Institute into the SARS virus is gain-of-function?
That is
You would
not-
be in the minority because at least 200 scientists have signed a statement from the Cambridge Working Group saying that it is gain-of-function.
Well, it is not. And if you look at the grant and you look at the progress reports, it is not gain-of-function.
Now, what is insane about this exchange is that Fauci is clearly and provably lying. He's lying to Congress, which is a crime, just ask Roger Stone, and he's lying to the American public. Now, I've been reporting on this for over a year now. There is no question that the NIH and NIAID were funding gain-of-function research on coronaviruses. There is no question that up until 2014, that research was conducted by Ralph Barrick at the University of North Carolina. But in 2014, as I've reported, the US government issued a ban on gain-of-function research funding from federal sources. It was at that point that the research was offshore to China, including the Wuhan lab. I've broken all of this down in great detail before, showing you that $3.7 million was paid through an organization called EcoHealth Alliance, who funneled the money to the Wuhan lab for gain-of-function research. But now, in order to prove that Dr. Anthony Fauci was absolutely unequivocally lying to Congress just this week when he said that there was no funding for gain-of-function research, I'm going to show you some documents that absolutely prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that what he is saying is not true. The research article was first submitted in late 2015 as it looked specifically at a SARS-like coronavirus, quote, poised for human emergence, end quote. Now, this is very important because this article was first submitted in 2015 and then published in 2016. And that is significant because remember, in 2014, that's when the moratorium was issued by the US government saying that taxpayer dollars could not be used any longer to fund gain-of-function research. It was being questioned at the time and seen as dangerous and possibly even unethical and immoral to conduct this kind of research. So after that moratorium was in place, this research project moved forward. That research report includes this line, quote, "Overall, the results of these studies highlight the utility of a platform that leverages metagenomics findings and reverse genetics to identify pre-pandemic threats for SARS-like WIV1 COVID. The data can inform surveillance programs, improve diagnostic reagents, and facilitate effective treatments to mitigate future emergence events. However, building new and chimeric reagents must be carefully weighed against potential gain-of-function concerns." Then jump to the end of that research report, and what do you find? Quote, "We thank Dr. Shi of the Wuhan Institute of Virology for access to bat COVID sequences and plasmid of WIV1 COVID spike protein. Research was supported by the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, that's NIAID, and the National Institute of Aging of the NIH." And then listed next to that, you'll see the numbers for two separate grant awards. Now, it's very clear. The NIH and NIAID absolutely were studying bat coronaviruses and spike proteins from those bat coronaviruses provided by the Wuhan Virology Lab. That is stated clearly and plainly, and that the study was being done to determine gain of function of those spike proteins in coronaviruses. It's all very clear. If you're looking for a smoking gun, there is nothing more clear that is absolutely stated in this 2016 report. Now, notice in that report, it specifically thanked the Wuhan Virology Lab and the NIH and NIAID, and it gave two numbers for the specific grant awards that made this work possible. So what were those worth? $31.2 million for the first and $10.5 million for the second grant award. That means that over 40 million US taxpayer dollars went into the amplification of making the Wuhan virus more pathogenic to humans. That doesn't even include the biodefense series that Fauci administered to DARPA. That was all separate, and that included more than $21 million for additional gain-of-function research. So all in, that means that after the US government came out with a moratorium in 2014 that said no US taxpayer dollars can be used to fund gain-of-function research in this country or anyplace else, the research was offshored or moved into a military capacity under DARPA, and over 60 million US taxpayer dollars continued to flow into gain-of-function research.
But again, we have not funded gain-of-function research on this virus in the Wuhan Institute of Virology, no matter how many times
you're parsing
you say
words.
it,
There
it
was
didn't happen.
research.
So why lie about this? Why is Fauci sitting in front of Congress and lying about gain-of-function research? Well, one of the biggest reasons for that is because he can. Because the media will not question him on these things. No mainstream broadcast news report is going to bring you the very clear documentation and facts that we just shared with you. They're going to instead play the clips of Fauci being tough and standing up to Rand Paul and shouting down so-called conspiracy theories. But they're not conspiracies at all. It's clear, black and white, in documents and documentation that has been emerging on the internet now for over a year, that the NIAID and NIH were using taxpayer dollars after the US government said you can't to continue to fund what now we know to be some of the most dangerous research in the history of the world. Dangerous to world economies, dangerous to millions of people who have died from the coronavirus, and dangerous to the future of populations and civilizations moving forward. Why? Because now Fauci says he wants to continue this kind of research going forward into the future. And the bottom line is, Fauci can get away with it because journalists in broadcast and legacy media won't challenge it, and social media companies will purge anyone who dares to question it. We'll continue to question it. Guys, thanks for watching this report. Now, as I'm saying that, if you're seeing this, you're probably not able to see it on most social media because they're taking these kinds of reports down as soon as they're posted. So instead, if you want to get this report sent directly to your mobile device, send me a text at the number on your screen. If you text me at that number, we will send the report directly to you. It's the best way to get around social media censorship. I'll see you next time.